Alright, what's up everybody? It's Lyds, and we're back for some more Gwent, and today we are going to be exploring more of this northern area here and approaching the main quest, which makes me a little nervous because I feel like once we get over to this main quest area, this might be the last area before, well, I don't know, maybe this whole area is done? I don't know, we've got this big city-like area up here, and so I don't know if we actually go in there, and then I guess there's still this area that loops around down here as well, so maybe we still have a ways to go in this section. But the other thing is that we did recently pick up a map for a golden chest, and we did not find where it was. It was supposedly next to some kind of temple, but I at least did not initially see it. That may mean that we need to backtrack a bit, and I want to make sure that we don't, potentially lock ourselves out of getting that golden chest by progressing too far and maybe make it so that we can't go back to pick it up. So I want to be mindful of that, but I'm hoping that at the very least we can move forward a bit here and see what else we come across, because it may just be that we haven't found the area where we find that chest just yet. Let's see, I don't think we can loot any of this stuff, no? Okay. There's a little bit of wood here, and that looks like a shrine, which, we could certainly use the opportunity to pray there, because our morale is currently low. So, this is definitely good timing for that. Okay, so we are at least neutral at this point. And what do we have here? Looks like some kind of rock slide, and then some people on the other side. Is this one of the question marks that we already knew about? I'm not sure we knew about that in advance. There's one of these two I think we already had on our map. The other one we may not have. But, alright, let's see what we have here. Your Majesty, a landslide on the road blocks our passage. Men could clear the way, on your orders, though they are clearly weary from marching in battle. A coin to each, their fatigue should pass with haste. To work, basically pay them and I'm sure they'll be fine. Alternatively, none shall rest while Nilfgaard defiles our home, let them complain, put them to work. I mean, I don't really see a reason why we couldn't just go around and save ourselves the trouble. I mean, this hurts after having just prayed at that altar to boost our morale. So I'd rather not go this route. I think we can just go around the other way, right? And it looks like worst comes to worst, we change our mind, we can go back here. But we do, of course, know that there is apparently something else up here, so presumably we want to explore that area at some point anyway. I'm just eyeing, again, thinking about where that golden chest might be. Thinking about where there has been a temple that we've passed, or where there could be a temple in the future, because let's just take a look at that map once more, just so that it's fresh in our mind. I had thought that this was a river. On second thought, this may just be a pathway, in which case that could fundamentally change where we were looking. Hold on just a second. In which case, I feel like we may want to double back here real quick and just make sure that we didn't pass what was obviously the right location. Like, this place still looked like it was somewhat similar to what we were seeing there. Definitely a fence behind whatever building it may be. And a lot of trees in the area as well, but otherwise, not the most descriptive locations. Makes it a little bit hard to determine where exactly it might be. I think this is probably a little bit too built up, but I feel like we were somewhat thorough in our search last time, but I think it would put me more at ease if we were a little more thorough, just to make sure that we don't accidentally leave it behind, because that would of course stink. But all these cities that we've been to before, really villages, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be a big one. And this is the place where we picked it up, right? The map for that very test that we are still trying to find. It's not like this right here, is it? I swear, if it's right here. Right next to it the whole time. I doubt it, though. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. That looks kind of like it as well. I don't know about that. Not enough trees, I don't think. But, I mean, it is a place of worship, it would seem. I think we checked there previously, though. I think these are some of the sections that we did look at before. This is, of course, where we got ambushed previously by Nilfgaardians. It's definitely not going to be here. It's near a building. I just want to be sure that we don't miss it. So I feel like the longer we go without having picked it up, the more it's going to fade from our mind, and we're going to completely forget about it. And then we're going to pass by the place, and it's not going to occur to us that that should have been where we would have looked. So that's why I think it pays to be more thorough here. I don't think it's in the castle. That would have been much more obvious, I would think. Either of these places. Down here, even? A little bit doubtful of that, but... About next to these spots? I think we were saying when we were over here that this looked like a place where one would hide a golden chest. Though it doesn't appear to be the case. Here? No. Peculiar. Is it going to be by this Nilfgaardian camp? I kind of doubt that. But I suppose we can check, and if not here, there's a place a little bit further west of here. Otherwise, I think we more or less covered all the places where we would expect to potentially find it here. Maybe we just haven't come across it yet, in which case that would explain a lot, but again, just not so sure. I mean, we did find an obscure but not hidden golden chest here, which would make me think that perhaps not in this place, because then, of course, there'd be two golden chests more or less right next to each other, and that would seem odd. So, and this is, the more we go in this direction, the closer we get to said golden chest. So, I think we just keep on moving in that case, and I don't know. I guess maybe we haven't found it, but we'll keep an eye out, of course. And if we come across it, then great. Because I do think that at some point in time, we will be done with this general area, and then we will not be able to do what we're doing right now and sort of backtrack through places that we've already been. It's definitely not here, right? No? Okay. Yeah, so I think that at some point we will reach a point of no return. And that means that if we missed it, it is permanent. It is permanently gone. So that's just the situation that I'm trying to avoid. But anyways, let's carry on here. And so what we'll do is we'll loop around the other way around that rock slide or landslide that we had seen. And, I mean, I think we should be fine, saving a little bit of resources and morale doing that. And, of course, there was that other point of interest on the other side, and so we'll find whatever that was. And not sure we have much in the way of hints for that right now. We even gone much in this little area here? I suppose we have. Maybe we just generally went in a slightly different pathing to get here previously. And then, of course, there's also the potential that I've walked by the spot numerous times in a row, which I wouldn't put past me. But I hope that's not the case, because then, of course, we might not look somewhere because we thought we've already checked there. But anyways, this is the place we're looking to go. Let's say Slowback Rut or something like that. That sounded rather grim. What was the name of it? Well, oh dear. Those are Nilfgaardians, I think, trying to fight what looks to be a cave troll.
Suddenly cut across the sky. The queen instinctively brought her shield up, convinced a Nilfgaardian catapult had lobbed a boulder their way. When the boulder landed in the road ahead, it smashed into splinters and proved an empty barrel.
This is what they cast at us. Barrels. Is this some jest?
Well, they're not known for their sense of humor, the Nilfgaardians,
answered Reynard.
I don't think that's the Nilfgaardians. I think that's the troll.
Meve stood in her stirrups, squinted, peered into the distance, and let out a hearty chortle. For the barrel had been loosed by neither catapult nor trebuchet, but by a rock troll consumed by fury.
Exactly.
And what? a company of Nilfgaardian soldiers had pitched camp by the cave the troll called home.
Oh, leave it alone. Leave the troll some peace. We can command our force to help the troll, or we can stay out of it. Interesting. We can help the troll, or we can stay... I mean, we've got to. We've got to, right? Surely we help the troll.
Troll or non-troll?
Said the queen, drawing her sword.
None deserve to die at Nilfgaard's hands.
Hey, that's it, Nilfgaardians. You are even worse than a troll. Alright, let's see. So it is a special battle. Just one round. And people often disregard trolls upon seeing their clumsy movements and hearing their awkward, crooked sentences. They conclude that trolls serve as no real threat, these easily outwitted or outrun should the need arise, but the Nilfgaardians would soon realize the falseness of these assumptions, and learn the high price for their mistake. To win the battle without letting Shupe die or be captured. Shupe? He's like the, I hesitate to say main character, but he's an important dude with Gwent multiplayer. Oh man, no way are we letting Shupe die or be captured. That is actually, what? How did they capture him? That does sound strange. I'm not sure, but let's jump in. Alright, so yes, it is just one round, which is... I thought that our previous battle that we had was supposed to only be one round, that ended up being 3. This is saying it's round 3. I hope it is actually just one round. So let's see. Can we, before we select our cards, discern anything from what we have here? So we have Shupe. He's a boss. Every 2 turns on turn start, if the sum of both adjacent units' power is even, damage all units on the opposite row by 1, then move the other to the other row. If odd, damage all units on this row by 1, including self, and then move to the other row. Oh man. Interesting. So, that means that we want to have even-powered units on either side of him. What's the sum of both adjacent units, though? So it could be both odd, it could be both even. But it can't be one or the other, otherwise some will be odd, and so we'll deal damage to ourselves and Shupe. And then he'll move to the other row. So what I'm guessing is that in order to make this a little more complicated, chances are the Nilfgaardians are going to have a combination of movement and or damage, so making it difficult for us to plan in advance whether he's going to have even-powered units next to him or not. So that's a tough one. I mean, I assume that we have to do our best to put an even amount of power next to him, and, you know, if the Nilfgaardians do something to mess with that, then so be it. Ooh, I do like the Regiment Drummer, though, for that reason, because even if the Nilfgaardians apply some damage, at least that armor can tank some of it, and that way we can still have a little bit more predictability about how much power will be next to him. Similarly, the light infantry from the War Wagon could allow us a little bit more flexibility as well. Could move them one way or the other, either into the row next to Shupe or out of the row so that they are no longer next to Shupe if they get damaged and we therefore don't want them there. Lyria and Scytheman, I don't particularly like, because it starts with an odd amount of power, then if we use our leader ability to move to an even amount of power, I mean, does mean that could potentially save us in some situations, but that's just a little too unpredictable where, you know, it could be fine on one turn, and then if we use our leader ability, then suddenly we mess ourselves up. So I'm not a big fan of that. Field Medic does also have an element of unpredictability to it, because we don't know what unit we're going to get out of our graveyard, and also we might not have anything in our graveyard, given how it's only one round. So I think we probably still prioritize getting rid of the Scytheman, but this is likely to be something we're going to want to dump as well. Okay, Arbalist, it's fine. Wiggenberg, probably fine as well. And I think we dump you. Okay, more Arbalists. Oh, and then the Pikemen. I mean, I'm usually not a big fan of this. However, on this occasion, it is actually useful. Particularly useful. Because if we move the Lyrian banner so that it is only Shupe in a row by himself, then or at least we make it so that, for whatever reason, there's nothing to the right of Shupe. If we play one Rivian pikeman to the left of Shupe, then the other one will get summoned to the right of Shupe, giving us a guaranteed 3 power on either side. This does it on turn start, not turn end. Such a minor detail, but that is actually extremely important. Because if it were at turn end, that would mean it'd be much, much easier. We can do whatever we want on our turn to set it up so that we have even power on either side, or even or odd power. The sum is even. And then we could pretty reliably, almost every turn, make sure that Shupe does not get damaged. But, because it's on turn start, that means that the person who is dictating whether or not that happens is our opponent, not us. So, yeah, I mean, again, I think we do everything we can to try to set ourselves up for success there, but at the end of the day, the Nilfgaardians are going to be able to do whatever they can, and they will get that last say to determine whether Shupe will get damaged or not. So, Lyrian Horn. That's an interesting one. Because boosting all allies by 2, I don't think is ever, in any situation, going to affect this, right? I think no matter what, if we play Lyrian Horn, it's not going to affect the average, or the average amount of power for adjacent units next to Shupe. So, I think that means we do dump it. Then we get another Arbalest instead, and I mean, that's probably fine. I don't know how relevant our damage is going to be. I think we go with this, though. I think we go with this. Okay, we don't even know what they're doing yet. They don't even have a leader ability. Protect the troll. Well, yes, protect the troll. Okay, so damage an enemy unit by 2. Whenever an ally appears, gain 1 charge. So yeah, I imagine they're going to have a lot of damage, so we're going to want to try to do any and everything that we can to minimize that damage. So if we could remove this card quickly, that'd be great. We do, of course, have our leader ability, so that's a quick 4 damage there. We need 7 to remove this altogether. So if we go... Oh, it's in the range row, so that means we can't go Arbalest here for easy damage. I mean, we could move the Lyrian banner here into the melee row. Go with Lyrian Arbalest, that's 2 damage. Then plus leader ability would be 4 damage, but the loyal ability from this, and for a total of 6, plus loyal ability from this would be 2 more, for a total of 8. That is actually more than enough. In which case, we don't move the Lyrian banner. We go Arbalest is 1 plus leader ability for another 6 total once you include the direct damage and damage from loyal ability. So this is good enough. Let's do this.
Arbalest in your command.
Okay. So at least to start off with, that's a decent start, but this is the problem. They're the one who determines whether at turn start, Shupe will have even power from the 2 cards next to him or not. And that, it only happens every 2 turns, so it wasn't relevant last time, but it is relevant this time. And, I mean, in general, we're just going to want to minimize the damage that he's taken. I mean, I'm focusing, of course, on this ability here, which I think is going to be the primary thing that dictates it, but I think this is overall just going to be a high damage deck that they're using. So on every turn on turn start, damage the highest power enemy unit by 5 if its power is an even number. Oh no. So of course, this right now would be Shupe, and I'm not sure we can change that at all. Oh boy. Can we change that at all? So, if they damage it by 5, Shupe would be on 10 power, 5 armor. Still wouldn't have any units next to him, so presumably that means that that counts as even. 0 is technically an even number, is it not? I mean, might be a weird gray area, or an outlier, or an exception to that rule, but I don't know. Is it? Can we find any way to get rid of you? I mean, it'd still be nice to avoid that damage altogether, right? So, I don't think we can. Arbalest is 2 damage. That's not enough. Caldwell play another Arbalest from our deck, but that is... Oh, well, we could move the Lyrian banner. That'd give us another unit in this row. So we do that. Then we play Caldwell. That'll be 3 units in this row. We'll get an Arbalest out from our deck. Play it here. That's 4 units. That's still only 4 damage. And that's not enough. We need 7. That's the number to beat. So... Yikes. I don't think we have an answer. Unfortunately, we can't target bosses with Decoy. That'd be the easy answer, right? Well, we'll just keep Shupe in our hand. We'll just play it on our last turn, and you'll never touch him. So, no, we can't do that. I think, in that case, what we go for here instead is we play the Wagenberg, because this long-term has the most potential for damage. So, I think we're just going to take this hit, and we're going to instead focus on not taking the next hit instead of this one. And we'll see what they have planned here.
Wise choice.
Oh, that was the damage. Okay, gotcha. I was gonna say, why did Shupe, move? Actually, why did it move? Damage an enemy unit by 2 whenever an ally appears. Gain 1 charge. Okay, this is the same thing we saw previously. Oh, I guess he moves no matter what. Or after that 2-turn period. But I suppose with no units next to him, maybe he just didn't get boosted or damage from that, because the damage only came from the assassin. Okay. Okay. Now we could go Caldwell here, and in doing so, or even we probably want to do Banner, and then Caldwell. That way, we have even more units out there, so that Wagenberg gets stronger, and the Lyria and Arbalest and Wagenberg that we play from our deck will also become stronger as well. Huh. Okay. Do we do that now? Or do we wait? Because do we have enough damage with just a regiment, or not a regiment, or with an Arbalest to make things happen here? That'd be 4, which is definitely not enough. 5 if we move the Lyrian banner, still not enough. Yeah, I think we go Caldwell here. And, well, now we have an odd powered unit next to Shupe, so we need to be careful. We definitely want to play Caldwell here in that case, and put this second Arbalest, or even Wagenberg on the other side. It shouldn't matter, it'll be odd powered units on either side, so that means they will add up to an even number, and that's what matters here. Yeah. So, I mean, ideally we would have had Wagenberg show up first, that way we would have gotten a little bit more armor. But, with the... Oh, we probably wanted to play the banner here first, didn't we say? Right? Okay, well, yikes. So in that case, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yeah, if we had done that, we'd have 6 damage, we could have removed the assassin. That hurts. That's definitely a potentially very big misplay. But, in which case... I mean, that means we're not destroying either of these cards here unless we use the Wagenberg's ability, which I didn't really want to have to do. But we may kinda need to now that we have misplayed. I think what we do is we do this, and we hit the assassin. And we play this Wagenberg. And, I was gonna say we use this ability here. Again, we would have liked for this to get played first, and then the Arbalest, but again, we don't have any choice in the matter. I mean, we could now move the banner and give a little bit more armor for this Wagenberg, increase the damage, but we need 1 more damage to get this to go away, and I mean, it stinks. It hurts a lot, because that means we are seriously over-damaging this assassin, but I think we need to. Because if we don't, then it's going to continue to deal 5 damage to Shupe, and we cannot sustain that happening every turn. So, it's painful, because we could have avoided having to do that had we used Lyrian Banner, as I had initially stated, but I forgot. Okay, so now you're attacking Shupe with this Infantry Arbalest, which is not terribly surprising that you are going all out against it. But now, ooh, and I hate that you're putting these on different rows as well. That is making it harder for things like this Wagenberg to be effective. But we do still have this Arbalist, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be 8 damage here. That would be enough to remove one of these. And I suppose it doesn't make a huge difference which one it is. Actually, this one would get damaged whenever we use our leader ability, and we are going to get that on our next turn. And with 3 Arbalists out there, that's a total of 6 damage, which is not quite enough. But if you combine that with the Wagenberg, then it could be on our next turn. So yeah, I think what we do is we go here, remove this Arbalist, and then next turn we should have what it takes to get rid of you.
It's safe! Your
What?
Grace, the troll, it's a bit unpredictable.
I mean, it's moving, but, hold on. Oh, no. It moved there even though... Was that a 2-turn period? Because it's reset. I mean, it had odd powered units. It had... The sum of the adjacent units was even. It was 10. But it didn't get boosted? Wait. Powers even damage all units on the... Oh, on the opposite row. It doesn't get boosted, it damages on the opposite row. Okay, I was... For some reason, I thought it was going to boost itself and every unit on our row, and that would have been preferable, to tell you the truth. But, okay. That means this is gonna be kind of hard to keep you alive if they keep on attacking you. So, the plan was to go Wagenberg plus Order, and I suppose we don't know if the loyal abilities are gonna hit this Arbalist or the Enforcers. And we really want to get rid of this Arbalist. That hurts. Yeah, it all went wrong when we had to use the Wagenberg's ability to finish off the Assassin, and had we not had to do that, then things would have been... We just would have been 1 card ahead. You know, we're kind of on the back foot reacting rather than being proactive here. But, let's see. We play... I mean, we can play another Arbalist, actually. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So deal 8 damage. That is enough to get rid of you or remove your armor. And that would mean 1, 2, 3, 4 Arbalists for a total of 8 random damage with deploy. And... 8 damage plus leader ability. Another 4, so that's 12. If we get rid of you, then we... That is enough, right? If we go... Got so much damage that we need to keep track of at this point. I think if we go Lyria and Rivia here, damage you, then leader ability, and it doesn't really matter who, but then we should have enough damage coming from all of our Arbalists to remove both of these cards on our opponent's side. Right, okay, good. We did not need to use the Wagenberg, so that is key. That means we actually have some damage waiting that we can use as soon as they play their next card. Especially because we are out of Arbalist here, which has, at least thus far, been our primary source of damage. We'd love if they have run out of damage themselves. And that card's not a threat, at least with regards to dealing damage to our troll. So I like that. That gives us a little bit of time here. But we could use Decoy to get one of our Arbalists back. That might be worth doing. So that way, as soon as they play a card that we do want to get rid of, we have the Arbalist to do it. Alternatively, I was thinking we could go with the Regiment Drummer here, and then just hope that whatever card we get from our deck happens to be something that can apply damage. But I think the Arbalist is a much safer bet. So let's go with that here. And it also means that Shupe, I think, is not going to get... Or, well, actually, again, I guess I wasn't paying attention to damaging... or if he was damaging the opposite row, when last time there were no cards on either side of him, so he might damage in that situation. So let's do this, and if they... I mean, I don't think there's any situation in which we could suddenly have an automatic power next to him unless they move one of our units, which I don't know if they can do. Alright, but now Shupe is moving. What?
Men bring more coin.
Are you serious? Move the lowest enemy unit to this row and lock it. if we destroy it, we can move the enemy back to its side and remove the lock, so we can get this back if we destroy it. But I don't particularly... Well, I mean... Great. Just great. Oh, it's the one we'd already used. Okay, I was going to say, at first I thought it was this one that we'd been charging up the ability on, so not nearly as bad as I'd initially thought. Is there anything else we can do here? Restraint? Move the lowest unit, move the enemy back to side. Yeah. This is basically just the explanation for this that we're seeing here. So, I mean, in theory, if they had another one of those, they're going to seal this Wagenburg, and that would be a problem. But, as of right now, Shupe has moved back to a place where there is, and, the sum of the adjacent units' power is even. That's fine, as things currently stand. I mean, if we play the War Wagon here, do we even have room for all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not quite. We would not have room for one of the light infantry. But that would give us a weak unit that they would steal rather than our Wagenburg, which might be kind of nice just to get that out here. Oh, what we can do, though, is we can go War Wagon here and then just move in the light infantry with their order abilities on our next turn. That might be preferable. Let's do that. So that way, we have light infantry here in case they have another save hunter that they're about to play. Gives us a little bit more protection from that. And what is this? Give all allies immune, so we can't target them. Oh no. Death Wish remove immune from all allies. Okay, so normally that would be extremely difficult to deal damage to these guys, because when they're... Oh, actually, this guy does not have immune. Everyone else does, and that means we can't target them. But we can target you. So, I'm thinking we could go with the Arbalist here to destroy you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be 8 damage. Not quite enough, but if you combine it with the Wagenburg, it would be. I mean, we can move in the light infantry, and then Wagenburg gets stronger. That's, what, 6 damage in that case. Removes the armor. I mean, it's still just enough damage to get rid of this guy, but we do have our leader ability coming next turn. Might that be good enough to wait for leader ability to target you, get all the damage from these Arbalists, which the random damage can hit units that have immune. That would still work. I don't know. I'm feeling like we instead plan a little bit more for the future and go with this Regiment Drummer, get a card out of our deck on our next turn. Okay, and yeah, Shupe did damage everyone on that row. They've stolen, yeah, one of the light infantry. Okay, so that was the plan, was to have these weak light infantry out here in case they did play one of those slave hunters. And we still have another one, so they would steal this guy, and that's not a huge problem if they do go that route. And it still means, I mean, we could deliberately target this one with our leader ability. I mean, that's definitely what we're going to go with here, because our leader ability is off cooldown. It's just a matter of, do we feel the need to go any further on the damaging front with, say, something like the Arbalist? Or throw more units down here to set up the Wagenburg? Is this just 4 damage, or really 4 damage plus a random 6? Or no, random 4. No, we have 3 Arbalists out here. For some reason, I keep on thinking that the Regiment Drummer is an Arbalist as well. We could have even more if we play this one as well. I mean, they have 1 card remaining. So I think we just get rid of this. And that gets a bunch of units down to 4 power, making our leader ability much, much better. Totally the plan. I absolutely intended for that to be the case. Or not. Can use this ability here, which not a bad idea. We can destroy everything on this row, which is with using the Wagenburg, which would get us back both the Wagenburg and the light infantry, which is kind of nice. But I think we'll wait to see what they do on their last turn here, because I think we're in decent standing at the moment. Okay, they do steal another light infantry. And so now, why don't we go War Wagon here. That means that on our next turn we can move light infantry into that row. We can also do this. Get, oh man, another Regiment Drummer. Okay.
Again and again and again.
Then Shupe. again, goes next to units that have odd power on either side. That's fine. So we're looking totally fine in that sense. Then we'll go... how many cards do we have in this row now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, no room to play anything else there. So, I guess we'll just go Regiment Drummer now, when Scytheman, sure, not gonna matter much, I don't think. Rivian Pikeman, get the other one out of our deck. And then, for what it's worth, destroy everything in a row, take your pick which one it is. We get a couple cards back, we go here, we get one card back, we go here. Not gonna have room for those cards anyway, not sure it matters much. And that means we should take the win here.
Humans good do. Shupe help.
Alright, and we are victorious.
The Lyrians smashed the Nilfgaardian force. The troll, having grown suddenly pensive, gazed and picked at the invaders' corpses.
Oh. I mean, this is interesting how... I mean, this seems like it was just a random encounter, but, I mean, it has its own artwork to it, which makes it seem like it's perhaps more significant than that. And like I was saying before, Shupe, at least in Gwent multiplayer, is rather significant.
Clad in blacks, humans. No good humans.
Alright, and Shupe's got the right idea here, it seems.
Just so, Sir Troll. The Nilfgaardians are a devious lot. Our land they've attacked most treacherously.
Clad in blacks, humans hard. Why no good humans? Big lot armor. Shoe got to. Try morsel of human, you wish?
No thanks.
Do you know to whom you speak? This is Her Majesty, your queen.
I'm not sure that Shupe cares about that, Reynard.
Greeting your queen. Shupe is me.
Oh. Hi, Shupe.
There, Reynard. I believe I can manage this. Say, Shupe, you've quite the stockpile of kegs. Do you engage in custom, perhaps?
Hmm?
No. Kegs good for smash when Shupe angry kegs. But costume engaging.
What?
What mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. In Gwent multiplayer, the way that you unlock additional cards is by opening kegs, which are basically, packs in any other card game. And Shupe is the person who is basically in charge of the shop where you get all those kegs. So that is interesting to see that there's the connection there where he has a bunch of kegs in Thronebreaker.
It means, well, to trade one thing for another.
Oh, I see. He's wondering what customs means.
One thing for other. For glitter rocks, even.
Glitter rocks? No. And I love how his family crest is just a crate.
Yes, if you play your cards right, you might just convince someone to pay you in rocks.
Oh man. That's amazing.
Cards, kegs, trade, glitter rocks. Oh, Shupe plan got. Shupe gotta go.
Okay, Shupe. Whatever you say. You do
Afore
you.
human go, Shupe human give. Your queen aid give, your queen aid get.
Oh, that's sweet of you, Shupe. And we get elf and onion soup. Lovely. But with the ear and everything. This card has been added to your army and can be found in the command tent. Let's claim
The
it.
troll turned on his heel and ran out of his cave, his destination known only to himself. As she moved to leave, a hunch told Meve the world would yet hear of this troll named Shupe.
I agree. I have a sense that this is not the last time we'll be seeing Shupe. Alright, and with that, let's loot up a bit here. And is there anything else we can do? Oh, there's a little bit more loot to be had. let's take a look at the card that we just picked up. Apparently, we can find here in the command tent. Let's see. We got Elfin Onion Soup. Create a bronze card. Okay. So bronze means anything that does not have this sort of orangey gold, is technically what it's referred to as, shiny color around it on the border. So that means no Lyrian banner, horn, or decoy. No Rainier, no Count Caldwell, but we could create a copy of any of these cards here. Normally, at least in Gwent multiplayer, the way that any card that says creates a X type of card works, generally that means it'll show you 3 different options, and then you can choose between those 3 options, but it usually does not allow you to choose between all of the possible options of bronze cards that we have. Now, I don't know if that's still the same situation in Thronebreaker or not, but, I mean, if we can consistently make cards like, say, the Wagenberg is usually one of, if not our best bronzes, along with the Arbalest, then that would be really nice. If we don't get to choose, and sometimes it turns into, you know, I don't know, a Rivian Pikeman, then don't feel as good about that. But, let's see, why don't we try throwing it in here? I think Decoy has been very good for us thus far. Lyrian Horn has been a little bit more inconsistent, probably good for the straightforward battles when all we care about is just scoring more points than our opponent. But when it comes to very specific things where we need to destroy specific units or protect specific units, then it's not terribly precise, and the 2 damage and 2 boost, not that much compared to some of the other things that we have access to. So I'm wondering if maybe we take that out and instead put in the Elfin Onion Soup. And in theory, if we were to purchase that upgrade that allows us to have 3 trinkets, then we could also keep Lyrian Horn in there. Not necessarily sure it's good enough for that to be worth justifying that for that sole purpose, but we'll see what we think of Elfin Onion Soup, and if we like it, we'll keep it in. If we don't like it, we can of course put Lyrian Horn back in instead. But with that being said, I think this is a good place for us to wrap up here, and I am very glad we got the chance to find Shupe, of all things. So, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.